welcome everyone to another open discussion Sunday afternoon class. Feel free to ask any questions you may have either on the chat via YouTube, if you're joining us on YouTube, or on the chat on Zoom. You also have the option of using the raise hand feature on Zoom to ask your question audibly. And we will do our best to answer your questions. And after the first half of questions, so the first hour or so, we'll move into our handouts. And I'll post the link to the Google Drive shared folder in the chat. Give me 1 second so you can access those handouts as well.
Just sent you something.
Okay. Also, you can join us on MeetUp, or you can send us your email address, send me your email address, and we'll add you to our email list where you can get announcements and invitations to our study group sessions and additional resources. Let me open up my email here. So do we have any questions so far? Okay, it's this two files. You sent me a Visio and a PDF. Okay, that's got it. Okay, Vicky, I see your hand is raised. Go ahead and ask your question.
Dynamic mantras, like the very first one, for about 3 months now, and I'm feeling something I've never felt before when I've said mantras before, like to other deities and stuff. So, what is it about the Om Mani Pindi Hum mantra?
Vicky, don't. So I didn't. Don't repeat the mantra.
I forgot. I'm sorry. So, what is it about mantra 1?
All the mantras are
So dynamic mantras.
sacred words of a sacred creative sound vibration. And if used correctly, it will calibrate your psychic centers or chakras, which will help align and flush out the nadis, because all the nadi pathways run through these vortex centers or chakras. And one of the ways that we develop ourselves is by flushing out the nodic pathways. The nodic pathways is the mental pathways that actually know the vital energies for all our bodies. So, when you begin to develop yourselves, the first thing you do is cleanse the pathways, those mental pathways, to allow free flow of energy, which the energy is radiating from the Kundalini, the dormant Kundalini. It's the part of the Kundalini that allows consciousness to, because the Kundalini is the vehicle of consciousness. So when you chant the first mantra, it's a good concentrative type mantra, and it allows you to begin to control your mental faculties, and it begin to flush out the obstructions inside the nadis by calibrating the chakras. And when you calibrate the chakras, the aura spins. And just like a centrifuge, all the negativity fall to the bottom, all the heavy substance fall to the bottom, and then the more spiritual and elevated substance remain. And then you have a clear perception to the universe. And that's the main difference with chanting mantra and doing mantra properly. So, I mean, you have a dynamic way of mantra, you have a soul mantra, you have a whisper mantra, you even have a mantra where you write it down. But the thing is to, in the beginning, I will use the mudra for mantra. There are several mudras you can use for mantra. But I will do the mantra where you count the mantra. And the way you count the mantra is by using a thumb. And as you count the mantra on your 4 fingers, using the thumb to count the mantra on the 4 fingers, each joint, say the mantra on each joint and move to each joint, starting from the base of each finger all the way to the top. And if you chant the mantra like that 6.7 times, you have chanted it 108 times. You have 108 chakras within the body, and you place the mantra on those 108 chakras by doing that. And you continue that in cycles, and you will feel that your whole countenance will vibrate to a different mental level. So that's the difference of chanting a mantra with purpose instead of just chanting a mantra. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Any additional questions? Uh-oh. It looks like I lost YouTube for a second. Can you guys on YouTube, can you still hear and see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Are you there, Dwayne?
Yes, I'm here. Anybody else have any questions? Any more questions? Okay, I just updated the Life on the Planets handout in the shared folder. I added 2 more pages to it, so you guys can re-download that to get the updated version. So again, are there no questions?
I guess we could talk more about mantras since that was the first question.
Okay.
one of the great secrets of mantra is that the chakra system is made up of mantra or sound vibrations. And that's the thing that that's how the soul connects the auric body or consciousness to the universe. If you look at the ancient malas or tantras, what they call the layouts or graphs of the chakras, the diagrams of the chakras, you'll notice that they talk about BJs or petals. There's 50 petals in the major chakras, and each chakra always have a petal. And you have major chakras, and you have minor chakras, and you have minute chakras. And each chakra is made up of sound bits or sound vibrations, which, when put together, create mantra. In the ancient teachings, they call it seed mantras. And the 50 petals that's indicated on the chakras are the letters of the Sanskrit language. It's the alphabet. It's 50 letters within that alphabet. And each one of those letters is a creative sound that was uttered by the universe. And the soul takes those sounds. The soul takes a lot of sound and break it up into 50 sounds in order to graph the auric body. And then within the auric body is designed to last for eons, for millions of years. And the other bodies are cycled in and out of the auric body. Your physical body, how you reincarnate, is the auric body take on a physical substance, an etheric substance, astral substance, and a physical substance. And it cycles these bodies in and out of incarnation or reincarnation. But it's all done by using these sound vibrations. Our breath is a sound vibration. We're told that the Sanskrit word hamsan is the sound, is the inhale and exhale, which we know as the mantra Soham. That we inhale and exhale 21,600 times a day, and that's what lock this body inside the auric body in order to gain the substance. When science study the physical body and the makeup of the physical body, they realize that the human body needs at least 20 cubic areas of space in order to continue to breathe properly. And then they also stated that, yes, the human body breathes in and out 21,600 times a day, as the ancient teachings told us. That's how many times inhalation and exhalation happens a day. And this is the sound that the body makes the soul makes in order to keep the body on the physical realm. So when you begin to tap into this creative energy by manipulating it, you are working strictly within the law of karma by repeating parts of the great word, which all mantras are part of the original great word. So you will begin to feel elated. You will have visions. You will begin to Your psychic sight will begin to happen. Your hearing will begin to happen. Your smell will begin to get keener just by chanting the mantra properly and on a regular basis, because you will begin to enhance your senses, and when your senses enhance, your senses merge with the astral senses. And when the astral and the physical senses merge, then you produce psychic senses. But how do they merge? Because by chanting the mantra, you clear out the hypnotic pathways of the different obstructions that stop you from merging your astral and physical senses to produce psychic senses. And then you are aware of both worlds and the world between. And then once you gain control over the psychic senses, you merge the psychic senses with the etheric senses. And then you have advanced psychic abilities. And this is done by mantra and prayer. You know, this is done by mantra, prayer, and pranayama. I hope that helped you all.
So, Mike, you said all mantras are part of the original word. Could we then get the benefit of all mantras by focusing on chanting the original word?
Can you do what now? You say what?
Could we get the benefit of all mantras just by chanting the original word?
You could, but at the same time, the soul introduced those other mantras for a purpose. And that's because you have different sections of the body. You have a energy that's given to you by the earth. You have a major energy that's given to you by the earth, that's manipulated from the sun and the planets around the sun. And then you have a major energy that comes to us directly from the sun, that needs to be manipulated by certain sound vibrations or the creative sound vibrations. Then you have an energy that's been given to us by the moon that was collected by the sun and that was collected from the sun and from the other planets, which creates the mental world, the mental bodies, or the mental energy to allow us to manipulate the vital energy coming from all the other planets, including the sun. So the soul break up these creative sound vibrations and place them into a mental, into that mental house in order to allow us to use that mental, because sound is a part of the mental world. Allow us to manipulate, because energy, all vital energy, all energy is manipulated by mind. And that's why you need to control the mind so that you can manipulate the various vital energies at different levels of existence. So you can use the AUM as a balancing factor to iron things out, but at the same time you need to use the other mantras given to us in order to help calibrate the 200,000 hypnotic pathways within the auric field.
There's a question here. Could you explain the difference between freedom and free will?
Freedom is strictly abiding by the laws of karma without exception. Free will is doing what you want to do and reap the comic impact of not strictly abiding by the law. And when you walk the road of free will, you build up a pressure that will impact you to put you back on the road. So it's almost ridiculous that we chose free will, because the more we go off, the more we try to not follow the strict rules of God, because karma is action, is divine action that God dictated or gave to us for a safe journey through involution and evolution. And we decided to take the long route by ignoring what the absolute gave us, and that's free will, which only thing we do is build up pressure to push us back to the law, to conform us. And the ancient teachings of the Vedas and even the Torah and even the Holy Scriptures and the Bibles of the earth describe this, that when we don't follow the law, there's a pressure built up and we're pushed back, and the pressure comes to teach us and push us back towards conformity, conforming to the law. So freedom is freedom. It's free to grow, to progress, to become a conscious God. And free will is a long, arduous journey down the road of involution and evolution, back to the God presence.
And another follow-up, could you explain the difference between the etheric body, the astral body, and the mental body?
It takes a lot to explain that, but I give it to you. It's very simple. That we have long hours of lecturing on that. I would tell you to go to our video library. But the astral bodies is the bodies made up from the energy configuration below at the solar plexus center down to the feet. All the psychic centers that make up that's within the solar plexus down to the feet, and you have a psychic center at the solar plexus center, at the sex center, at the base of the spine, in the hip region, in the knee regions, in the thigh regions, and the knee region, the knee, the calves, and the feet. Because you have seven psychic centers below the base of the spine, and then you have the base of the spine, the sex center, and the solar plexus center, and the energy configuration from those psychic centers make up the astral world, and the energy configuration from those psychic centers are the astral bodies. The etheric body is made up from the psychic centers, from the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the Christ chakra, or the third eye, and the many psychic centers in the crown chakra. So it's made from and these chakras from the heart up, they are less they're more higher etheric matter than the astral. In the ancient teachings, they describe the astral matter as a distortion to this earth. We're told that, we're told that before, during the Adamic man period, before 18,600,000 some thousand years before Jesus, was the Adamic man on earth, and their base of the spine was at the heart chakra. They had no astral bodies. They had etheric bodies, and they lived in the etheric realms. In fact, their physical bodies was able to phase out and phase into any realm they wanted to from the heart chakra up. But their physical realm started on the heart chakra level. So that's the difference between the etheric realms and the astral realms, or the etheric bodies and the astral bodies.
Okay. Question here. Well, yeah, we continue the mental discussion. As how do we unite our senses with the psychic senses?
How do we what?
How do we unite, I think, our physical senses with our psychic senses?
Through concentration. Remember, I always tell you the 8 limbs of yoga. Go back to the 8 limbs of yoga and study that intensely. And I've kind of gave you all the tools over the years. Let's go back and look at my videos, and you do this through techniques of concentration and contemplation, and through the use of the 8 limbs of yoga. And 8 limbs of yoga is yama, which is control your thoughts and your actions. You place restriction on those according to what you know about the law of karma. And then nayama, where you observe God in all your actions. That helps you to further put restrictions on your thoughts and actions. And then asana, which is seats of power. Learn the different seats of power, and restrict your body to the seats of power through hatha yoga, through yoga positions, but understand the mystic knowledge behind those things. And then pranayama, learn the science of breath and how to control your breath, how to breathe in, how to breathe out, how to regulate your breath, because this is the way you feed the nadis, is through breath. Your nostrils are the opening of the nadis. Your eyes are the opening of the nadis. Your mouth is the opening of the nadis. Your ears is the opening to the nadis. So you do the pranayama exercises, which includes controlling the breath through the nadis, through the mouth, through the ears, through the eyes, and you use those techniques. And by doing that, you begin to enhance the flow by accelerating and de-accelerating the energy through the nadis, and you'll begin to flush out the nadis, and then by doing that, your astral and physical senses will begin to merge. Now, you go to the next limb, which is the fifth limb, I think, and it's pratahara, which is withdraw the consciousness, begin to withdraw the consciousness from the outside world, and begin to help further control the flow of energy within the nadis. And then you move you move to the next one, which is the concentration, where you begin to focus the mind down one channel while you do all those previous things, the previous limbs of yoga. You begin to learn how to just concentrate on those things one by one in order to enhance your mental capacity. And once you can do that, then comes contemplation. And when you reach the point of contemplation, that means that your physical senses and your astral senses have merged, because now you begin to have visions. Now you begin to sense and to control, not in no crazy way, but you begin to actually can control your psychic sight, your psychic smell, your psychic hearing, your psychic taste. You begin to have control over those things. That's contemplation. And then the next step will be meditation, where when you begin to concentrate on something and contemplate on something, you can become one with that thing. And that's meditation. And when you reach concentration and contemplation, you will begin to partially rise the power of Kundalini. In concentration and contemplation. And then in meditation, you can do a full rise of Kundalini. So that is how you merge the senses. And when you reach a high state of contemplation, you will merge the psychic senses with the etheric senses. And then you will enter into meditation. So that's the stages. So study the limbs, the 8 limbs of yoga. I'm telling you the secrets. You will not find this written down in too many places. I'm probably one of the few people in the world that give this information out. But that's the difference.
Okay, question here. Well, what are your thoughts on taking the vaccine? I've heard some interesting conspiracies regarding the true purpose of the vaccine. I'm just curious to know if others in this group have the same concerns.
Who asked that?
Mr. Indigo, Charlie Indigo.
Charlie, write me, email me. Next question.
Okay, so question from Vicky. Vicky, are you referring to Bodhivita or Bodhisattva? She says, what is a Bodhivita or Bodhisattva? I'm not sure. I don't think I'm pronouncing that properly. And the Tathagata.
Is that right? I know what the Bodhisattva is. She's trying to say a Bodhisattva right there, right?
I'm not sure. Vicky, are you still there?
Yeah, that's what that is. That's a Bodhisattva.
Okay.
A Bodhisattva is a cosmic being. Bodhisattva is someone who have long time ascended, and they can be on this planet, or they can be on another planet, or the etheric realms of another planet or solar system, and then they decide to come here. Jesus was a Bodhisattva. Sri Krishna was a Bodhisattva. Ramakrishna was a Bodhisattva. Mahatma Gandhi was a Bodhisattva. Lahiri Mase, from the stories of Autobiography of a Yogi, he was a Bodhisattva. Of course, the great Maha Devata Lord Babaji is one of the greatest Bodhisattvas that ever came to this earth. And Laose was a Bodhisattva. Buddha, of course, was a Bodhisattva. Elijah, spoken about in the Bible, was a Bodhisattva. Moses was not from this earth. He was a Bodhisattva. So you had many, many cosmic beings or emissaries of the Absolute that ascended on this earth at many different times to correct the pathway, to help to correct the pathway of mankind, to guide mankind. And they made the sacrifice not to allow mankind to fall further than what he is by sacrificing their life to guide us and teach us and take on negative karma on our behalf. That's where you have the crazy thing about someone dying for your sin. They didn't die for your sin. They came in to guide you as a mother would guide a child. So that's what a Bodhisattva is. It's a great cosmic being or great emissary of God from a different existence or etheric planes or a different planet or solar system that have came here to guide and help us. And that's written down in the ancient books.
Okay, for those inquiring about our email address, I posted it in the chat. So you can go ahead and send us a message. Okay. The question here is supra consciousness and super consciousness different? If so, how?
You have, I know Dr. King, he, in his lectures, he only really go into the conscious mind, subconscious minds, and superconscious mind. But occasionally he mentioned the supraconscious mind. And the difference is the supraconscious mind is that state of mind that the soul uses to manipulate the superconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind. It's a soul type conscious level of mind. The superconscious mind is your higher self or your higher conscious mind. And the subconscious mind, of course, is that mind that operate as like a background operation or motherboard that just take care of functions. But even the subconscious mind have to answer to the superconscious mind and the supraconscious mind. And then you have the conscious mind that's limited and only take care of the present activities, of the present operational activities, which leave it open to allow certain functions in an isolated manner, while the subconscious mind take care of functions, pass information and all, and then filter it out to the conscious mind. And the superconscious mind help to create the barriers for the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind to make sure that the directives of the soul is being taken out by all levels of mind. And that's kind of the difference.
Okay. Any further questions? A little earlier, Nimai was talking about the structure of the chakras. And I don't know if I've posted these handouts in the shared folder, but in previous classes, Nimai has gone over, is this called a yantra, the diagram of the, yeah, okay. The yantra of the, that he put together for the different chakras, and he also gave us descriptions of the meaning of each of the symbols. And additionally, he put together a follow-up set of diagrams that went into much more detail about each psychic center. But again, I don't think this is in the shared folder, but I thought it would be good for us to go over a couple of these. I won't read everything this time. Maybe next time I'll read it word for word, but I think maybe I'll just read over the divider diagrams and look at each part in turn. Let me check to see if we have any questions before I do that. Okay. So first is the Muladhara chakra. That's the first major chakra along the spinal column. And it appears earlier Nimai talked about the petals or the bijas that surround each chakra. The Muladhara has four chakra petals or bijas called seed mantras. That's what these red petals are. Next, you have the major chakra bija, which originates from the bindu or point of consciousness. And that's this Sanskrit lettering here in the center. Then we have here the black inverted triangle. So the inverted triangle is the symbol of Shakti or creative energies. Then below that, there's a seven-trunked elephant. The seven-trunked elephant represents the creative mind substance that makes up the seven bodily tissues, Sapta Dutas. And for those of you that are familiar with Ayurveda, You'll know what those 7 bodily tissues are. We come back up to the top right. There's a Shumna, the power of Ida and Pingala traveling in one direction. That's these 2 black lines as tubes, 2 going down the center. And the yellow square represents the earth element. The 3.5 knot, the dormant state of Kundalini, and that's what's inside this black inverted triangle. And then the 8 spears surrounding the earth element represents the earth kula family. It's these 8 spears here, 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 and then all the way around. And then finally, the elephant represents that there is a great dormant power resting in a complete stable state. All right, and that's referring to the Kundalini energy in a majority dormant state in the Muladhara chakra. Okay. Next, to move to the Svadhisthana chakra, the second major chakra along the spinal column, or in English, the sex center. At this blue crescent moon, so the water symbolized, by white crescent moon within the pericap of the lotus. It's here. It's drawn blue for you to see it. And then next is within the bindu of the mantra resides the Diva, Vishnu, and the Devi, Rakini. So here, in this part here. And here the blue crescent. The crescent moon is formed by 2 circles which engender 2 further yantras. The larger has outward turned petals and represents the conscious dimension of existence. On the inside of the crescent moon is a smaller petaled but smaller circle with petals facing inwards. This is the unconscious dimension, the store of formless karma. The 2 yantras are separated by the white crocodile in the crescent moon. This is a bit more advanced than I thought it would be. Maybe I should read the text parts too. Sorry. The crocodile is the vehicle which carries the whole phantom of unconscious life. It symbolizes the subterranean movement of the karmas. Seated on the crocodile is the bija mantra VAM, also stainless and white. And then the top petal, on each chakra petal, there is a letter. It's Bam, Ham, Mam, Yam, Ram, and Lam. So those are the letters on each petal. Okay. Next is the Manipura chakra, the 3rd major chakra along the spinal column. Manipura belongs to the Swaha Loka, the heavenly plane of existence. In the center of the lotus is the region of fire, symbolized by an inverted fiery red triangle, which shines like the rising sun. The triangle has a bhupara or swastika in the shape of a T on each of its 3 sides. Okay. Next, on each petal, one of the 10 letters, Dam, Dham, Nam, tam, tham, dam, tham, nam, pam, and pham, is inscribed in the color of the blue lotus.
You notice all of these are sound vibrations.
Yes.
They're just bits of sound. But what we are taught that they are creative bits of sound. And if you notice, the triangle represents a downward flow of power. Because in order to accommodate mankind 18 million years ago, they had to push this energy down in order to create the astral realms, because the astral realms did not exist. So from the solar plexus chakra, which is the metaphysical chakra, down to the base of the spine, this is the upper astral realms. Anything below the spine, the base of the spine, is the lower astral realms and or the lower hells, some people call them. So this is the great difference, and that's why that the chakras, the detailed information on the chakras below the base of the spine is secret. We do not teach. We only give you a general knowledge of it.
And as you mentioned before, that the downward triangle in some cases represents involution.
Yeah.
And it is due to involution that we are connected to those realms,
Right.
or our involution. Right.
Right. And it's funny how they have the T's there, like to balance it and to control it as they push the energy down.
Mm-hmm. So next is the Lakini, the benefactress of all, is four-armed, the dark complexion and radiant body. She is clothed in yellow raiment, decked with various ornaments, and exalted from drinking nectar. Right. And then above the ram, seated on the ram, is the Bija mantra of Manipura, Ram, R-A-M. In the Bindu reside the Diva Rudra and the Devi Rakini. Okay. All right, and so next we have the Anhata Chakra, or the heart center. It is the fourth major chakra along the spinal column. And the heart chakra, it has 12 petals on each, but on each letter is inscribed in vermilion, Kam, Kham, Gam, Kham, Anga, Sham, Chham, Jam, Jham, Nyam, Dam, and Tham. Okay. In the center of the pedicap of the lotus is an inverted triangle within which burns the Akana Jyoti, unflickering eternal flame, representing the Jivatma, or individual soul. Right, so that's in the center here, and the inverted part of the six-pointed star.
And if you
The
notice,
vehicle, I'm sorry.
if you notice here, you have the six-pointed star, which is showing power going up and power going down. And then in the center,
Mhm.
because this is where the sacrifice was made. This is where the Adamic man and the Mother Earth had to make the sacrifice to split this chakra up and create the lower chakras.
Right.
And so that's why that's another reason for this similarity. Go ahead.
Okay, guys, I see your questions coming in. I'll get to them. Yeah. For those, I'll post this in the shared folder. So those of you who are interested can look at it as well. Let's see, where did I stop? Okay. The vehicle located within the hexagon is a black antelope, which is known for its alertness and fleetness of foot. Above it is situated the bija mantra, YAM, which is dark gray in color. Up to the top right, the inner region is hexagonal in shape, representing the air element. And you'll remember from our other diagrams where we describe the chakras, how the elements or the bhutas correspond to the various centers. Here at the heart center, it is the air element. And you should also remember which finger that corresponds to as well. Next box, it is made up of two interlaced triangles, symbolizing the union of Shiva and Shakti. The inverted triangle is a symbol of creativity, Shakti, and the upright triangle represents consciousness, or Shiva. And remember, Shiva is unmanifested, right? But Shakti is manifested, right? Or the manifested aspect of Shiva.
Right.
Right. Okay. So next, within the Bindu of this mantra is the presiding diva, Isha, Lord in an all-pervading form, who is illustrious like the sun. With him is the diva, Kakini, benefactress of all, who is yellow in color, three-eyed, four-armed, auspicious, and exhilarated. Actually, I do want to read the.
See you, but go back there. Let me show you something.
Okay, go back. Yes.
See, what it does is when you read the ancient tantric teachings that talk about like what Ramakrishna talked about in the nature final forces, and the Vedas talk about the coming of Senekamar and the creation of the city of Shambhala.
Mm-hmm.
Here in this chakra describe the solar plexus center, the sex center, and the base of the spine. If you go and study this, you'll see that the elements that the structure of those lower centers are in this one chakra. You know, because what happens in the base of the spine, the Shiva reveals itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Shakti power goes dormant and becomes Kundalini. And then you have a burst of energy. In the solar plexus center, you have well, in the sex center, you have the all-pervading energy, which is Viana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Apas in the element of water. And then in the solar plexus center, you have the radiant sun energy that transforms everything. But all of this was a part of the solar plexus center.
The heart
Because
center.
I mean the heart center, because the base of the spine for the Adamic man was here.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to split this center up.
So when you're saying that the three lower centers, solar plexus, the base of the spine, and the sex center are extensions or part of the heart center, that's what you're
Yes,
referring
it's
to.
an extension of the heart center. And then all the centers below the base of the spine is really an extension of the base of the spine. And that's why the animal kingdom is there, and that's why they lack a high degree of self-consciousness. But when we tempt or push free will, we find ourselves populating the lower astral realms because we get a fixation on animalistic type characteristics like selfishness, lust, envy, and these things push us to a point where we're locked into that selfish type thinking, which drives us to the lower hells for hundreds and thousands of years after we pass out of the physical body, and then it prolongs our ability to be reincarnated here on the earth.
So when we go through the process of raising a full raise of Kundalini through Sushumna, in a sense, those inverted triangles in the lower center, do they reverse themselves and become evolution as we raise that Kundalini power?
No, not necessarily. What happens, you gain control over that energy. And you can center the energy wherever you need to center it. And then eventually, once you can take the energy up to the Christ center or Arjuna chakra, then you can soon take it to the crown chakra. You create an ascendant body, and where you channel all the energy of the auric body into forming a body for the moment. Wherever you are, you just form a body for that particular place. And that's what an ascended body can phase in and out of any realm of existence. You understand?
Yes. I have a question, but I'm not sure if I should ask it. Let me see what other questions here. I guess this is the question referring to the ascended body. So is that like the body of light or Buddha body?
Yeah, Buddha is in an ascendant body. The Buddha of today is in an ascendant body because Buddha did ascend, but Buddha was also a bodhisattva. He came from another from other realms of existence on another planet. We're told that Buddha actually came. He was a great master on the planet Venus. He lived on the etheric realms of Venus, and now he is the Senate Kamara. He took the Senate Kamara's position in the city of Shambhala, which is the city that help manipulate the karma of mankind, and is guiding mankind through his evolution, and also protecting the Mother Earth.
The presiding divas, oh boy, the presiding divas over the bindus and the chakras, we must go before them before we can raise or unlock that bindu and raise the full power kundalini to that center?
No and yes, in a sense. What happens is once you can concentrate and then contemplate and then bring about a meditative state in order to unlock those energies, you become one with the petals. You do a meditation on each petal, and you become one with that vibration. Now understand, in order to make your body function, in order to allow you to be here in existence, like I told you many, many times, there's over 360 divas within everyone's body that allow them to use the various energies to express themselves here on this physical and astral and etheric planes. So once you become an adept or that can meditate, one of your main ways of controlling the energy of any conscious level, you have to meditate on those petals. And when you meditate on the petals, you learn the laws of karma that govern, the intelligent laws of karma that govern that energy. And then you make a sworn oath to abide by those laws. That's how you become a devata. A devata is one who strictly abide by the laws of karma. That's the only way they become a devata. And that's the only way they become an avatar. It's the only way they ascend. They become an avatar and then they become a devata. Because they are part of the law now. They become a conscious God, in a sense. You become eventually you become one of the lesser laws of creation, or one of the laws of creators, or that's what a cosmic being is. They uphold the law and they help push the law. They become the calibrators of the law.
Let's see if there are any questions so far. Okay. Let's go into let's go to the next center. the Vishuddhi chakra, fifth major chakra along the spinal column, also the throat center. Vishuddhi belongs to the fifth loka, the plane of Nana, wisdom. These 16 petals correspond to the number of nadis associated with this center. On each petal, one of the Sanskrit vowels is inscribed in crimson. Am, aam, im, im, om, rim, rim, irim, irem, em, aim, om, and ah. The bija mantra is Ham, also pure white, which is the seed, sound, or vibration of the etheric element. In the pedicap of this lotus is a circle which is white like the full moon, representing the element of ether or akasa. This ethereal region is the gateway to liberation for one whose senses are pure and controlled. Within this moon shape is a snow white elephant, also symbolic of the akasa element. This is considered as the vehicle of consciousness of this plane, and the aspirant may picture himself upon its back. This is also the Nehemiah's told us the purification center. And that makes sense when you consider it being the representative of the ether or akasa. And place where the senses are pure and controlled.
If you think about this chakra, it is akasa is called etheric sound. And akasa is also known to be the carrying agent for all the Mahabhutas. So what happens is all the energies uses akasa to carry them, because akasa, being etheric sound, it creates space. In all the ancient Bibles, it states that God spoke the word. That etheric sound created space or manifested the universe. And when it manifested the universe, it created the space that we know now as the universe. So akasa, that etheric sound, or in the Vedas it said vak, and from vak came nata and sata, which is pure sound vibration. That was akasa, and with akasa came the shati, and the shati is power, and akasa is intelligent mind substance that shape and mold energy. So when the light of the sun comes and hits the earth, Akasa blanket the earth first to allow all the energies to take its place. Because Akasa creates the arrangement because it's a mental energy, but it purifies it to a point where it can be, it can exist on the highest realms of existence. At the same time, bring it down to the lowest realm of existence and allow it to create a sound. Because when you, and that's a purification process. Because, mind moves 4,000 times the speed of light, we're told. But yet, you can translate mind into sound that moves very, very slow compared to that. So, that's the two extremes. That's why this realm of consciousness called the throat chakra is a purification center.
And from the look at the Ajna chakra, also the Christ chakra, the sixth major chakra along the spinal column. Ajna is symbolized by a two-petaled lotus. According to the scriptures, it is a pale color, light gray like a rainy day. Some say it is white like the moon or silver, but actually it is an intangible color. Below the chakra, the three nadis merge, Ida on the left, Pingala on the right, and Sushumna in between. Within the lotus is a perfectly round circle which symbolizes Shunya, the void. Within the circle is an inverted triangle which represents Shakti, creativity, and manifestation. Above the triangle is a black Shiva Lingam. Looking at the two petals, on the left petal is the letter Ham, and on the right, Ksham. Ham and Ksham are inscribed in a silvery white color and are the bija mantras for Shiva and Shakti. One represents the moon or Ida Nadi, and the other the sun or Pingala Nadi. Over the Shiva Lingam is the traditional symbol for OM, with its tail on top and the crescent moon and Bindu above that. OM is the Bija mantra and symbol of Anja chakra, and above its form can be seen the Raif, the trace of sound consciousness. Finally, the Param Shiva is the deity of Anja chakra, and he shines like a chain of lightning flashes. The goddess is the pure-minded Hakini, whose 6 faces are like so many moons. I have a question, but I don't know how to word it. Okay, so the two petals that represent the Ida and Pingala Nadi, the moon and the sun, does the moon play a role in balancing this for us? Does that question
Like
make
I
sense?
told you, the moon is a mental energy, and the moon is an ancient is an ancient being that took the place around the earth many probably billions of years ago, knowing that the earth was going to go through what it's going through. And the earth was going to be, and the moon was going to be needed in order to create the right conditions to allow a lower race of beings to live on the physical plane of existence. This physical plane of existence should be left in a sense like an operating system to allow things to flow naturally. Just like you encase a motherboard inside of a case so that it can't be, you can eliminate the dust and make sure that everything runs properly. Well, the physical plane should be left like that, the same way you see the physical plane on the other planes, on the other planets in this solar system. To introduce anything else is to introduce a virus. So the physical, the physical life of humans and animals is like a virus to this earth. We should be living on the etheric planes of existence. But the only way we get there is to control our consciousness and raise our vibrations. Now, the etheric planes are physical too, but they're physical in a way that give us a greater control over our emotions, over our actions. All our actions are predetermined on those etheric planes. So the astral and physical planes is a distortion to the operation of this earth. And if you go back to science confirmed this. You know, that the earth, that the moon is 25%. It's like 25% of the earth, and it positioned itself just right to control the physical atmosphere on earth to allow life like ours. If the moon was just moved a little off course, mankind and animal and animal life could not exist here. The conditions would be too harsh.
It says here below the chakra, the three nadis merge, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. So does that also mean that during that involution, this is where the nadi split below the Christ chakra as well?
Well, during the original involution,
original evolution.
Yeah, for this earth, yeah, it split here because the The Ajna chakra or the Christ chakra is everything is an extension of this chakra, just like everything is an extension of the crown chakra.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as manifestation, everything is an extension of this chakra. In fact, the sex chakra and this chakra is highly related because this is the command center, and the sex chakra is the base command center for the Christ chakra. In other words, the Christ chakra uses the sex chakra in order to command basic man. And that's why the energy of the sex center evades or pervades the whole body,
Mm-hmm.
because the subconscious and conscious mind is operated from the base and the sex chakra.
You also say within the lotus is a perfectly round circle which symbolizes sunya, the void. But is that another aspect of Shiva?
Yeah, well, that's an aspect of it's really an aspect of the Bindu, which give you a glimpse of Shiva. Is that point of consciousness, that all knowledge space that gives you a glimpse into the endless potential of power.
Mm-hmm.
And we're told the one who can meditate on these petals can soon ascend.
Because they can tap into that power.
Yes. And there'll be the instructions on how to get there is given to them.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm curious about this traditional symbol of the OM with the tail on top. How does that differ from the way that the modern symbol with a tail on the bottom? And why was it flipped? Or why is it?
I think it's done like that to show the evolution of quality. And a lot of the mantras, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of the mantras are backwards. But when it's translated to give to us, it's backwards when it's translated for us to pronounce. But it starts from a whole different. It's written down in Sanskrit or in one way, but then pronounced in another way. The same way if you look at Spanish, Spanish is backwards, but then in English it goes in a different direction. Well, a lot of the Sanskrit mantras seem to be that way.
So it's written one way but pronounced a different way?
Yeah, well, when it's written, you'll think that it's pronounced backwards. But then when you look at the pronunciation, no, it goes in the other direction.
Does that have something to do with that rule in a lot of religions where the name of God is not to be written, or it's written with certain letters missing?
It could be. It could be.
ER, there should be a link in the chat to our shared Google Drive folder where all of our handouts are available. Just this handout that I'm currently going over is not available because I just put it together while Nehemiah was talking about chakras earlier.
But there's a lot more
class.
to this. I don't know if I gave you everything on this.
No, this was what's in the collection. It was two sets. It
No,
was,
but there was a lot more to it in the original handouts.
okay.
I think I did this before you even came around.
Oh, okay.
This was before 2011.
Okay.
This was like this. I wrote this 20 some years ago.
Oh, okay.
So, but there was a lot more to it.
There's this set, and then there's this set too. And I just put them together into one, but I didn't post it.
There was actually I think it was like a 4 to 5 page write up behind each one.
Oh.
So I gotta look in my other. I never gave it to you guys. I taught this, like I said, 20 some years ago.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, guys, you heard that? If there's enough demand for it, then we can go into much deeper subject study into this. But there has to be the demand for it. But I will post these 12 pages because it seems like a lot of you are interested in this. And maybe next class I'll read through this part, and hopefully you'll have some questions on it as well. So we can go a little bit deeper into it. Okay, cool. I see your comments. Yes, please. I would like more teaching on this topic. Okay, so I'll post this so everyone can read over it. And next class, I'll read the even pages, which has more description into each of the yantras. And then we will go from there. So are there any additional questions or final questions before we close out? You know, Nehemiah, it was kind of weird. Sometimes when I was reading it, I was seeing the words from right to left.
Mm.
And I had to stop myself and say, no, it's opposite.
Yeah. I think in the mantra book I wrote, I went a little into this more deeper.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
So if anybody want to get that book, you probably can download it from Amazon.
Yes.
It's called The Ancient Language of the Soul, the Mystic Knowledge of Mantra.
I will post language. If I could spell. And I will post a link to that in the chat. Can these yantras be used in meditative healing practices?
First, you need to learn to concentrate, contemplate, and then meditate. So it's unpopular, but I must tell you the truth. You should never, ever concentrate on a chakra without the guidance of someone who can guide you into that. And that person needs to be of a very high quality teacher, adept, or master. So when people tell you, oh, just concentrate on the third eye, run from that person and run fast and quick, because that's the fastest way to create a psychosis, by concentrating on the third eye or the throat center or the solar plexus center. The only chakra you can have a slight concentration on without having the ability to contemplate or meditate is the heart chakra. So be very, very careful about that. You follow the instructions properly. So these yantras are just, they're here to reveal the information to you as you grow in knowledge and understanding. But you have to go through the 8 limbs of yoga and get to that point where you can focus on something without letting negative thoughts into your mind, because as you think, you create, and a lot of people don't realize that. So if you have an uncontrolled thought and you're concentrating on a psychic center, and then you create that negative thought within that psychic center, now you got some disease, because eventually what's on those mental planes come to the physical plane. It manifests itself in the physical plane. So that's why you don't concentrate on chakras until you have control over your mind.
Okay, in the link, sorry, in the chat, there's a link that should take you directly to the text, Ancient Language of the Soul, on Amazon. Let's see. How do I call upon my chakras in the correct manner, and do I channel all information to my root chakra? I think you just answered that.
How many videos we have on the YouTube? When do you know?
In total?
Yeah.
I looked a few days ago, and I think it was like, almost close to 500, but let me
So
not
there
guess.
you are, there you guys, there's over 500, at least 400 videos where I go into depth in these subjects, where I just teach. There's very little question and answer, except at the end of the course where I just go over this stuff, and it gives you great reference and detailed information on it. Right?
Yeah.
For the first 200, 300 videos, right?
Yes.
So
folks. Okay, I've got too many windows open. Let me close some stuff.
Yeah, I'll look through my archives and see if I can find the notes that go with that. So, so I think I actually wrote those in the 90s.
These handouts in the 90s.
The yantras, the ones I wrote that in the 90s. I think I did these in the early 2000s. The one you have up. But the single one with the yantras and we point out, I think that was did in the 90s.
Okay. All right, well, guys, we weren't planning on covering this today, but that's okay. And there seems to be quite a lot of demand for it, so I will upload these 6 pages into the shared folder. And I think I will title it Chakra Yantras, or something along those lines. But it'll be in the Google Drive shared folder under 2021. So when you click on the link to open the folder, you'll see 2 folders immediately. One says 2020, one says 2021. 2020 folder contains the handouts we covered in the open discussions last year. And 2021 will be where I'll place the handouts for this year, as well as some of the handouts that we have uploaded to our Meetup, which are kind of tricky to access. So I'll put them into that. Oh no, I'll put them in a separate folder in that same shared drive folder. But the best way to keep in touch with us and get access to everything, including all the links and announcements to when we are hosting classes, is to join our Meetup. Go ahead and put a link to that in the chat. Make sure I spelled that properly. Yes, I did. Okay. All right, so if you follow that link, it'll take you directly to our Meetup page, and is under the Miami Metaphysical Study Group. And when we send out Meetup announcements, all the information, including the Zoom link, the shared folder link, and other information is there for each of our classes as well. So are there any final questions before we close out today's session? Okay, I believe we got all of these questions on YouTube. Yeah, we got all those questions, and on Zoom, I think we got all those questions too. Okay, great. Let us close out with the New Lord's Prayer. It's not in that folder, it's in this folder. Okay. Give me a second here, my Explorer just crashed. Okay. The new Lord's Prayer. O divine and wondrous Spirit, O everlasting Lord of hosts, send forth now through me thy great and lasting power. Allow me, O mighty God, the lasting privilege of radiating to all the world thy great love, so that those who suffer may be given the power and energy to rise above their weaknesses. Almighty God, in great humility do I ask you to send forth your power to give to me this great lasting privilege of being a channel, so that my suffering brothers may be helped and guided and healed and lifted into thy light, so that they who know not may look up and in doing so receive to their higher selves your divine counsel. Almighty God, this day have you granted me a divine privilege. I ask you now to give to me the strength so that never again will I turn from my inner vision of you. Oh, great peace, great peace, great peace. In praise of your greatness, O God, doth my soul sing. Grant it energy to sing on forever and forever. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for your attendance and attention. We look forward to seeing you next time.
See you next Sunday.